Is Adyashanti Jed McKenna. Hello, this is Shows of Infinity with your host Chris. And someone asked me recently, is Jed McKenna Adyashanti or is Adyashanti Jed McKenna? Are those the same? And I told a friend of mine about it who likes Adyashanti or used to like to watch his videos. And he said this seems to be a question that crops up again and again. It seems that there are some autobiographical similarities. So, to spoiler alert, the short answer is no. The longer answer is that content-wise, there's almost no overlap. So there might be some autobiographical similarities, but from the content, they're very dissimilar, very different. Adyashanti is a typical marketplace guru in the 600s. It's not wrong what he says, but like so many others, like Tony Parsons and Eckhart Tolle, and so they are able to maintain the Hawkins scale 600s, but they cannot push beyond 700, which is where full enlightenment happens. In spell-dynamic terms, they stay within second tier, while full enlightenment is usually third tier. Or in the Jeffrey Martin's finder's location terms, they stay in the range up to location 12. This is already dozens or hundreds of times above average, but still, it's not what is called here on this channel and in India full enlightenment. Because this whole non-duality thing can be a trap, like so many others. Revelations on the path, they're traps. Don't stop, keep moving. While Jed McKenna has somehow managed to reach, or it was allowed to him to reach, all the highest levels in all scales, be it spell dynamics or the locations or Hawkins scale or whatever, he was up there. No matter where he is now, but he has been up there and had a good look. Once you're up there, it's very likely that you either become some kind of avatar religious leader or you become an anti-guru. Like Jed McKenna and UG, they're the most famous anti-gurus. Or you decide not to be known at all. That's actually probably the most common variety. Someone who has been up there just shuts up and continues with his life or her life unbeknownst. No one will notice. It's not that you're running around with a halo. No one will notice. So the basic message of people like UG and Jed McKenna is don't stop. Never stop. It's never the last, never the highest consciousness. Don't stop. Don't stop to question. And that also there's nothing to seek. There's nothing to seek that can be sought or that makes any sense to want to have or want to be. Those higher stages of consciousness are not so comfortable. And also they don't have any material benefit. To the contrary, they can be harmful to the body also. Jed McKenna had some kind of heart attack and UG talked at length about the transformation and transmutation his body went through. So they're saying don't pursue it. It will happen to you anyway. You cannot do anything for or against it, except be totally, brutally honest to yourself. Well, people like Eckhart Tolle and Adyashanti, they're still trying to convince others what they should do to get enlightened. That's totally different. So Adyashanti is talking about deepest states of being or highest states of being, but He has not been to all of those states. He obviously assumes that he did, but he didn't. Nevertheless, his message can be very helpful on some stages. To get into the 600s, it can be very helpful. He can explain very well. But his limit is Hawkins scale 700 or on the spiral dynamics 2.6 aubergine, which is farther than 99.9999999 whatever percent of humanity will ever reach. But it's not full enlightenment. There's still this idea that you can do something or stop something in order to reach enlightenment. While in actual fact, from a 700 plus perspective, it's enlightenment that pulls you towards it. It's not you who are doing anything. It's not you who were ever doing anything. The fastest way is to just surrender. Stop meddling about, stop trying to control things. But even this again, it's in the language of the 600s. Do something or stop doing something. While it is not you as a person who can either do anything or who can reach anything. It's something else. It's some consciousness that is not tied to a individual personality that can experience stages from 700 plus. And from that perspective, everything else is child's play. The personality, the ego, the individualization, the mentalization tries to put everything into a framework. Even in the 600s, it's still an exchange of one framework for another. The non-duality framework or the Buddhism framework or whatever. It's still a framework. What Jed McKenna and UG are talking about is no frameworks. There is no structure. There's nothing to hold on to. There's nothing to do. There's nothing not to do. So I end here with a quote by Jed McKenna. My reality now is the awakened, untruth, unrealized state, and it's the same for me as for anyone who comes to it. There are no masters or novices here. There are no teachings or beliefs, no Hindus or Buddhists or Jnanis or Advaitins, no masters or yogis or swamis, no discorporate entities or higher levels of energies or superior beings. Awake is awake, everything else is everything else. Within the dream state there are countless shades of grey, but between the dream state and the awakened state there are no shades at all. The distinction is absolute, truth exists, untruth does not. It should be now obvious that all dogma, beliefs, doctrines, philosophies are strictly dream state phenomena, with no independent existence in truth. It is so simple and obvious that you'd have to close your eyes and bury your head not to see it. Specifically, you would need some mechanism by which to generate an energy field around yourself, an artificial microenvironment, a one-man spacecraft with an interactive in-flight movie so engrossing that you could forget that you were floating alone, empty in space, and believe that you were in a full world of people and drama and meaning. Which is exactly the case. The mechanism by which you accomplish this most remarkable of all feats is a well-oiled combination of emotion and intelligence. Emotion powers the energy field, Maya is the ruling intelligence, the in-flight movie is called delusion, and this ship in which you aimlessly float through nothing forever is called ego. And lastly here, a quote where Jed McKenna refers to Mark Twain. When we remember we are all mad, the mysteries disappear and life stands explained. Thank you very much to all my patrons. Thank you for the good questions. Keep on going. Write questions to me about what you want me to talk. Thank you to everyone. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thank you for joining me as a patron, and see you soon.